Okay, so let's go through why I use HSB here. As you see here right now, we've got a square over here. The square is all white. So you see H all the way down to 0. You see S all the way down to 0. And you see B all the way up to 100. So this, again, is hue, saturation, and brightness. Brightness is all the way up. Saturation is all the way down. Hue is all the way down. Now, what happens if I start kicking this hue up? I start getting into colors when I start kicking this hue up. So you see that the numbers are starting to rise there a little bit, correct? You see them going up 160, 175. But my saturation is all the way down. If my saturation is all the way down, that means that there can't be any color. There's no value to the color whatsoever. But you did start seeing that this started changing here. Okay, so let's watch again. As I do this, as I pull this down, I'm at 114. You see how green this is. Pull it down a little bit more. You see the yellow, we go through the orange, and you see how all the colors start changing in here. These deep blues, the purples we start going into, purples, we get pinks, we start back up to red. Essentially what happens here is that you go from red at 0 all the way back up to another red at 360. So you see at 360, we're 360 degrees, a full circle. 1 degree all the way around the circle for a full circle, okay? So let's leave it at 360. Let's start kicking this up, and we'll start seeing the colors start changing there, all right? So as the saturation gets more, we start pumping up this way. Our brightness is 100%, so right now we're at 100% red in the saturation, and in the brightness, this is the brightest of that color red you can get. So now if we leave the saturation all the way up, and we leave the brightness all the way up, and we start pulling this down, we start changing the color, okay? This is why I like HSB. In HSB, I can set a hue. Let's say this is the 232. Let's just leave it here at this blue. The 232 hue is the particular hue that I want to create a small blue palette out of. So let's move this down out of the way. Okay, so I've got the 232. I can now take and copy this guy. All right, now let's do a F. Copy that. I can move that over. So now I've got 2. I know exactly what the hue is. The hue is 232. If I want to keep the hue exactly the same on those, but I want to change the color, I can start kicking down the saturation a little bit so we get a little bit duller, a little bit more towards gray. I can darken it up by lessening this. A lot of different things I can do with it, but the thing is that it will always match this blue. These two blues will always match because they're the same hue. Okay, that's why I like using hue, and that's it for this particular video.